Recently, 3 new cavities were discovered inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu by a Japanese research team. The team used cameras to explore these cavities, discovering a secret passage 9 meters long and 2 meters wide. Dr. Zahi Hawass, the man with the hat, commented on this discovery and said that he believed the passage was designed to relieve pressure on a secret chamber that had not yet been discovered, and that could contain the tomb of King Khufu and his treasures. This information may support the prevailing belief that the pyramids were built as giant tombs for the ancient Egyptian kings, but let us see the discovery from another angle that may shock you. The ancient Egyptians are the owners of the greatest and most advanced civilization in history, as it was the origin of many sciences and arts such as medicine, astronomy, engineering, and others, and they preserved this extended history through inscriptions on temples and papyri until it reached us today. By embalming them in special, impressive ways, their tombs contained many treasures and belongings that were a sign of beauty, as a tradition related to resurrection, eternity, and afterlife. The next question may jump to your mind directly: why do the pyramids not contain any of these aspects that adorned the tombs of the ancient kings? Is it possible that these treasures and mummies were actually stolen, as indicated by a number of studies? If that was true, then where are the great murals that adorned the tombs of the kings to tell us their story? The ancient Egyptian civilization was very advanced compared to human history at that time, and until now there are many secrets that we cannot decipher, but the greatest secret related to the goal of building the pyramids remains the greatest of them all. If we check the journey of a great scientist in human history, who is Nikola Tesla, we will discover that he unveiled this secret. Nikola Tesla had a strong belief that he could use the energy in the earth and transmit it wirelessly around the world, and he supported his idea with many experiments that eventually succeeded, but after his death, this project, which he called the World Wireless System, suddenly evaporated. This project was based on the use of radio waves to transmit data and electricity around the world. The project was the base for many subsequent projects that were a breakthrough in the history of humanity. Tesla assumed that he could use the Earth as a conductor of electricity, and through it, humans would be able to transmit electricity around the world without any wires. But let's review this idea and how it could be true. We will return again to the secret of building the pyramids and how Tesla was inspired by it in the first place. As we said at the beginning, the hypothesis that the pyramids were tombs for kings over time becomes a weak hypothesis. With the presence of this huge pyramid, which, as it is said, was the tomb of King Khufu, we have not yet found any manifestations that support the existence of a tomb commensurate with this large pyramid of decorated and large murals and large passages worthy of with an Egyptian king. He was treated like a god, and the spaces inside the pyramid must be allowed for life after the resurrection, and that is all don't exist. On the contrary, all the rooms and corridors discovered so far are very narrow and small, and reveal that it was being used for another purpose, but what it was. In the beginning, there is a set of information that you should know about the Great Pyramid, which will surprise you. The Great Pyramid is completely aligned with all compass directions in a completely correct way, to the extent that modern engineering methods may not be able to reach this accuracy. In addition to that, the pyramid was built using 6 million stones, weighing 6 million tons, with a height of 137 meters on an area of 13 acres. The base of the pyramid is horizontally flat in an incredible way that can only be replicated by using lasers. The 4 directions of the pyramid, each with a length of 230 meters, are composed of stones, each weighing from 2 tons to 40 tons, and the space between each stone is only 5 millimeters. The Great Pyramid, the accuracy of its construction, as estimated by scientists, is 99.99%. If the previous one is not impressive for you, you should know the following information. The Great Pyramid is not composed of 4 sides, but in fact, there are 8, and you will not be able to distinguish that except by looking at the pyramid from the top or when the sun aligns to the top of the pyramid. An amazing additional piece of information is that most of the pyramid is composed of limestone. Other than that, there was an outer layer covering the entire pyramid of different types of stones, and these stones were transported from Torah region. Each stone weighed at least 10 tons and was transported for a distance of 25 kilometers. What is distinctive about this special stone, which made them bear the burden of moving it, is that it was completely free of magnesium, which makes it an excellent insulator for electricity by nature, unlike the inner chambers of the pyramid that were built using a rare type of granite that allows electricity to be generated when pressed or moved because it is composed of silicon dioxide, or known as quartz. The king's chambers inside the pyramid consist of 85% quartz, and the passages are also filled with the same mineral. You can imagine if this mineral is compressed, much electrical energy will be generated, and this gives us a glimpse of what stones of a different kind were used to build the outer layer of the pyramid to contain and be an insulator for the generated electricity inside the pyramid. When we think of it now, an important question will jump to our mind, which is how Tesla intended to transmit electricity around the world based on the Egyptian model of the Great Pyramid. Well, to answer this question, we must convey to you what Christopher Dean said in his book, The Giza Power Plant, where he explained that the entire process starts from the subterranean chamber inside the pyramid, noting that the pyramid lies on a layer of groundwater at the bottom, and by taking advantage of the movement of water at the bottom, sound waves are formed from the bottom of the pyramid, and these waves turn into energy by collecting and amplifying them in the hollow of the pyramid. He also said that the Queen's room was used to create a chemical reaction to prepare hydrogen, and this is confirmed by the presence of 2 ventilation passages linked to the room. With growing hydrogen in the main passage saturated with quartz and the king's chamber, increasing pressure results in electricity. The strongest evidence supporting this hypothesis appeared in 2018 when a team of scientists carried out an experiment next to the pyramid based on sending different radio waves toward the pyramid in order to ascertain whether the pyramid would interact with these waves or not. The experiment had already proven that the pyramid is able to collect waves in the chamber inside the pyramid. A year later, the scientist Eric Wilson presented a research paper entitled Large-Scale Thermal Acoustic Generator, in which he asserted that when rocks saturated with quartz are actually shaken, electrons rush to the surface and electricity is produced, but this did not answer the question, how will electricity be transferred around the world? If we look at Tesla's model, the tower that he built was based on a layer of groundwater, and he was passing rods of iron and copper below this layer. When electricity was generated in the tower, it was transmitted to the nearby area through the atmosphere. The electric lights around the tower were all working. Just as we said about the Great Pyramid, which was built on a layer of groundwater, there are recent discoveries of copper and iron pipes in the area already, in addition to the top of the pyramid consisting of gold, which will transmit electricity to the atmosphere, and thus electricity will be transmitted in the end. One last additional piece of information is that there are other studies indicating that giant obelisks were working as sources of lighting and electricity transmission. At the end of this episode, which sheds light on one of the great secrets in human history, and one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Great Pyramid, we hope that you have enjoyed this video, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to be updated with the next episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and keep exploring.